Yesterday I applied the initial coats or base coats onto the bill in both a light blue and the dark brown. What needs to be done today will be another coat of paint on all of the feathers and another coat of paint on the bill. And this time I'll be able to perhaps add a little bit more of the dark color around the face area where the bill meets the feathers. On the bill it's got some dark details that I'm going to be adding. I think I'll also be employing, I've got these two brushes I bought years ago, Low Cornell. They're 76 70s. They're called Tight Spot. And this is a size 0 and this is a 5/0. So this is going to give me a little bit more ability to get into some of these areas with better accuracy once I get my all the colors laid in. I'll be able to also use them for adding some stippling that I think we're going to be adding later on. So I'm going to do the feathers first, and then because I can still hold the head with the bill right now since it dried overnight. And I missed, I did have it on video yesterday, but things just didn't work out. I thought I was videotaping or recording, and my batteries were not working very well yesterday. So today we're going to come back and I'm going to put one more coat on the breast. And if you come in from the side, you know, you might have gotten a little bit of a skin overnight on your paint. So come in from the side and bottom and you can get a nice puddle going for yourself of paint. And again, just bringing it right up to the red of the head feathers. I want complete coverage so that the wood burning isn't showing through any longer. Some of the wood burning showing through on the head, and I'll deal with that in a little while. Try to get this breast. Now I'm using a it's the Isabi 6168. It's not quite as worn down as the one I was using to apply the base coats initially because I was scrubbing them in. I don't have to push so hard with this brush, which keeps the original color intact, the first layer intact without a whole lot of pressure moving it around. It's dried, but it can be brushed off if you're not too careful about your applications. So I use after the first coat, when I'm scrubbing everything in, I use a longer number 10 Isabi 6168 like this to apply the subsequent coats. I'm trying to get in here and see what's going on. Oh, this is going to drive me nuts today. See a little bit of debris. I want this light to show you what I'm doing, but I keep tinging it with my brush handle. And the next time I come back, I probably won't have to cover the whole area. I'll just have to take a look and touch off where it needs to be darkened a little bit. Okay. Now I've got some turpentine here. I want to use the same brush for applying the red, orange, and the orange red, which will be a third coat. And during this third coat, I'm going to take a look at it and make sure there isn't anywhere that I missed that I didn't see yesterday. I see a couple of places where the wood burning is dark of the wood burning showing through on the cheek, and I want to take care of that. And I'm doing the orange first, because the orange red first, because I'm going to come back with the red orange and tint this down a little bit more. I just want to get the wood burning effectively covered up, and make sure everything's even from side to side. I want to make sure that I'm extending the orange red further. I mean, just as far as in the back than I am in the front on either side. You want to make sure and have your lighting even on either side. Oops. Go. So that when you're looking at it, you have, you know, equal light. So that way you can tell if you've you got everything balanced. Okay, so that seems pretty good for the orange red. Won't have to clean the brush out quite as much for that because I'm just going to wipe it and dip once again into the 50-50. Red dries a lot slower than any other color, or some of the dark colors also take a while to dry. And I want a thin coat to get into some of these deep areas. Make sure that I've got good coverage evenly all the way through, and I don't see little light areas of wood from way down below. I don't want the burning to be the coloration here. I do want the texture that's casting a shadow to be there. The thing that's nice about the Kolinsky sables is the amount of paint that they hold, and as well as the delivery of the paint off of the brush and onto the surface of whatever it is you're painting. It's controlled, and it's the tooth of the sable hairs that make up the brush that allows that to happen. You're not going to find that same quality in a synthetic brush. There's synthetic brushes that will work well for acrylics or oils, and then there are brushes that are meant only for oils, and you have to really, and then there are also brushes that are only meant for acrylics, like the mediums, the turpentine and lacquer thinners would essentially melt them. So that's one thing you need to be aware of. Now, see what just happened here? I need a cleanup brush. See how the paint just ran right into the... So I noticed it right away. I just come back and I clean that up. And that's not a big deal if you notice it right away. So I had a little bit too much paint on my brush, and it just sucked right in to that feather detail in the cape area behind the neck. So, got that fixed. Anyway, what I'm saying about the Kolinsky Sable is that it has some tooth to it, so where the synthetics are slippery and the paint just kind of slides off too quickly and there's no control over it. So that's the kind of control I'm referring to. I'm gonna do some shading here. I'm looking at my photograph and noticing, this orange is, this lighter orange is definitely there, but I don't want it to be too predominant. See how it is here? Turn it this way. You can see this side before I added more of the red orange, and after. Now I will be coming back and adding a little bit more color and I'm going to also be adding some iridescence to the head. I'm just noticing some detail deep inside that did not get any paint, so I'm working that in right now. Always be on the lookout for that, because you won't see it from one direction and then you'll see it from another, and voila, I'm surprised. The ability to just do a subtle blend like I'm doing now, from the orange red to the red orange, is the beauty of oils. So that's pretty good coat on the top side. Let's add a little bit more color to the bottom. I always have a standby brush for cleanup, emergency cleanup. Very difficult to see in there. Enough to get paint in. It's always a place of challenge on every carving, it seems.